Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Marketing for Your Future. I'm your host, Susan St. Denis, and I'm excited to have on the show today Sol Girouard with Data Innovation Labs. Sol, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Susie. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you on the show today. And, before we get started with the nitty-gritty of the interview, I just want to ask you, what do you do for Data Innovation Labs?
Right, absolutely. So I am the CEO of Data Innovation Labs as well as Klen. And we actually take data science out of the data science hole in corporations and permeate it throughout, the organization. And that really creates not just digital innovation, but clear insights. But we also coordinate that with workshops and data literacy because everybody really needs to be able to increase their data literacy to be able to actually take advantage of all these technologies. It's not about replacement of human loop, it's about an optimization of machine and human loop. The problem, what happens is that a lot of these technologies get siloed and they are just considered products or they're only feeding certain areas of the organization. So that is transformative. It is all about taking these fourth industrial revolution technologies and making them real and applicable.
Absolutely. So right now within the world of, COVID, as we're starting to come out of the tail end of the pandemic, what have you noticed is the biggest struggle companies are having with starting back up again?
I think the big struggle is information asymmetries. I think there's a lot of talk. Some of this talk is it seems inconsistent. And I think that corporations is hard to navigate, not just corporations, for all of us, it's hard to navigate the landscape, right? As to what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So that has been, in my opinion, this information asymmetries are creating paralyzation. People don't want to do anything. And the smart ones are taking advantage of it, and they're taking this opportunity as the true disruptor that COVID has been for organizations and for digital transformation. They have seen it and they are taking advantage of it. And our clients that have been extremely successful. So there's this divide in between the corporations that are kind of paralyzed, that they don't know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and those that actually are saying, listen, COVID is clearly the disruptor of our times, and now everyone is online. Let's be smart about it.
I feel like this might actually have an obvious answer, but, I feel like it should still be asked. Do you find that small businesses have had an easier time with recovering from COVID over larger businesses, or do you feel like larger businesses have more equipment available to them to allow them to recover from these financial situations?
This is a great question. And I think that the answer falls in the leadership. Small businesses have been, affected differently because their income sources are very punctual. They're not very diversified. Larger organizations, they have a larger diversification profit-wise, so they're able to be more nimble. However, it comes down to leadership. If the leadership sees that these are times in which one must not be paralyzed and one must take advantage of the options and possibilities of digital transformation, they are very successful. Those that are still stuck in the let's not make a move, let's figure out what's going to happen, and they keep on passing the buck forward. We don't know, let's figure out what's going to happen, let's figure out what's going to happen. Those corporations are in a similar situation as the SMBs. SMBs is different because SMBs depend on that traffic. And it is difficult to communicate. There's platforms out there, and this is one of the reasons why we developed Klen, to really create a standardized communication, reduce this information asymmetries, talk directly to your consumers, have the real hours of operation. Sometimes those hours of operations change, right? I mean, someone may have COVID in the small business, or they may be taking care of somebody that is sick, or they may need to get quarantined, in a specific amount of time. So sometimes those hours of operations change. With Klen, you're able as a small business to tell that information to customers. But for the small businesses, it's crucial, and for us as consumers, which are these two sides of the coin, right, in between the supply and demand, it's crucial to rebuild that trust and have transparency. And that is the big effect of COVID. COVID has taken away our trust on, our larger organizations, government approaches, what we're doing. And it is crucial to be able to have the standardization of information. That's why Klen is so powerful.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And it's wonderful that you guys are providing this resource for businesses in order for them to have an easier time communicating with their consumers. And again, like you said, creating the standardization, which just makes communication that much easier. It can be incredibly frustrating when you're wanting to work with a business, but then you can't find any information on, their operation, or, whether or not they're even still standing. Klen clearly makes it where not only is it easier for the small businesses to recover, but it also allows for consumers to know the information and know what's going on. And that communication is absolutely vital. So I appreciate you coming on the show today and talking about that with me.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. And to everybody watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Marketing for Your Future. I'm your host, Susan St. Denis. And if you'd like to learn more about Soul and Data Innovation Labs, you can check them out at BluHorn.com. We look forward to seeing you next time on BluHorn TV.